Hello everyone. As promised, today is a short review on Bitcoin. The next review will be on the S&P 500 index. After that, there will be a review on Ethereum and possibly on those financial instruments that you mentioned in the comments. That's another reason to subscribe to the channel, and if you're already subscribed, then hit the bell icon. These are the weekly candles for Bitcoin. So what do we have here? Bitcoin broke through the green 50-week moving average from above, and the decline stopped at the red 100-week moving average. This suggests that there is a higher probability of upward movement for a retest of the important level that was broken from above, which is the 50-week moving average, and that's around $102,000. That's the main reason why I'm expecting growth in this area. But there are two things that concern me. First, Bitcoin has been trading sideways for the second week in a row. In other words, we didn't get a quick rebound, as if a spring compressed and then released. That's how it should have been. And this means that there could be further distribution before a deeper decline. And the second thing that concerns me is that Bitcoin hasn't reached this zone. That is the level 30 on the RSI. If we had reached this zone at the same time as the weekly, it would have been a more reliable structure to talk about growth. But as it is, the 30 zone on the RSI still acts as a magnet. Let's clear everything. Switching to monthly candles. As I mentioned earlier, on the monthly candles we have a completely clear bearish structure, a downtrend and nothing else. Look, this area lasted for 4 months. That is, for 1, 2, 3, 4 months, Bitcoin was trading in a very narrow range, and then there was a deep breakout downward. This means that the trend is set, and with almost 90 to 95% probability, we will see a new low compared to what we saw in November. And that low was $80,600. Where could this lead? Well, on the one hand, the target seems to be the base of the green candle, but we've already been here. So if we break through this level, 82,550, then the next important level for us is $71,280. The level of $71,280 is a real technical target, but not the only one. Potentially, Bitcoin could go down to the 50-month moving average, but considering that it has already touched it, the green one, it might come down here to the 100-month moving average. And that's already in the area of $37,000. And such a target is present on my indicators. And finally, the RSI hasn't reached either the 50 zone or the 30 zone. So the monthly candles clearly indicate a downward movement. Daily candles. Look, first we got a bullish engulfing pattern right here on December 2nd of this red candle. The growth continued, but then 2 days engulfed the growth candle from December 3rd. That means we got a bearish engulfing, a reversal downward, and now the target for the decline could be the base of the green candle from December 2nd, $86,300. At the same time, on the daily candles, we broke through all the moving averages, tested them from below, moved a significant distance away, and now a move at least to the 50-day average seems likely. That's around $100,000 or maybe even a bit higher to the 300-day average. That's around $103,000. But there's a bit of a contradiction here. That's why I'm not sure right now that the movement will go upward. On Friday, the Chicago Mercantile Exchange closed at $89,425. In other words, almost exactly where Bitcoin is right now. And most likely will stay around these levels until Monday. So what should we do? We need to look at the 12-hour candles. They give us a clue. On the 12-hour candles, Bitcoin has already tested the 50-period moving average many times, sometimes approaching it, sometimes even breaking through it, like it did recently. But every time it trades below it. And only when we see that, on the 12-hour chart, Bitcoin has broken through this green 50-period moving average, which is currently at $91,270. Only then can we start thinking about any long positions or buying. But honestly, I wouldn't even consider them because you've seen what happens on the monthly candles. Nevertheless, that would be a reason to consider a growth scenario. For now, we don't have the right to do that. At the moment, there's a decline here. And after bouncing off the 50-period moving average, the price of Bitcoin could come here, to this level, around $86,300, or maybe even here, around $82,300. So for now, there's no sign of growth here. Although the weekly candles are hinting at a move toward the $102,000 area. Now let's look at the hourly candles. Actually, let's check the 4-hour candles as well. This will be very brief. The price is squeezed between the 100 period moving average below and the 50 period moving average above. And basically, as long as it stays in this sideways range, that is, between these two moving averages, nothing definite can be said. If we break below the red line, then with high probability we'll head somewhere down here. If we break above the green line, then with high probability we'll head somewhere up here, or more precisely to these highs. On the hourly candles, Bitcoin is also trading below all the moving averages, and this indicates a downtrend with a downward bias. And considering any longs will only be possible after Bitcoin breaks above the highest moving average, which is at the level of $91,600, where the 100-hour moving average is located. It's shown in red on the chart. And ultimately, we see a short setup on almost all time frames at the moment. Yes, there are some prerequisites for growth, but on the hourly time frame, Bitcoin is below all the moving averages, and on the 12-hour time frame, it failed to break through the 50-period moving average and bounced down from it. On the daily candles, we have a bearish engulfing pattern. On the weekly candles, although we couldn't break through the 100-week moving average, we also haven't reached the RSI 30 level, and that zone acts as a magnet. And on the monthly chart, it's a pure short setup. There's simply nothing but shorts to be seen there. That's why I urge you to be cautious. If you want to invest in Bitcoin, it's clearly not worth doing at the current price levels. Subscribe to the channel and stay tuned for new reviews. Goodbye.